Shelley Jackson, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Brian?
It's nice to meet you. Thank you for allowing us to be in your wonderful home and actually sitting down for us. It really means a lot.
No problem. My name is Shelley Jackson, and I am a business owner.
What's the name of your business?
Shelley Jackson Hair, and then I have like some umbrella under the umbrella. Like I have products and accessories and other things like grooming systems that under there.
I like you doing that for it.
So it's really a long story. So I went to Whitewater, and I graduated with a degree in social work and general speech. Right back then, Boston store was recruiting me heavily because I had like a really nice retail background. So they offered me a lot of money, up my signing bonus and everything. So I worked in retail. I worked in retail so much that one time I was off. And Lexi, my baby, who's also at Whitewater now, she came downstairs. She said, "Mommy, you're here?" Like it was tripped out because I was never home. So I was like, I gotta quit. I gotta start working in social work. Had a sewer who was a director over an agency and literally didn't have to interview or anything. So I started doing that. Then with the agency, with working with the state, if you didn't meet certain benchmarks, like your agency would just lose its contract and another agency would come in and you would have to interview again and again. So in the meantime, I was doing hair while I was in school in a janitor's closet, like washing out perms and stuff. Don't tell nobody. So my husband, who's also an alum, he said, "You know what, Shelley, why don't you just do what your passion is?" And my passion was doing hair. So I started doing hair about, oh mercy, it's almost 20 years ago. So that's what started the whole situation with the hair business.
All right, so I know that you graduated from UW-Whitewater. What kind of clubs and organizations were you a part of?
I was a part of BSU. I was a part of the gospel choir. I was a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Okay, right. And so while I was there, I held the office of president, and then I was the president of the Pan Hell Council too while I was there. And I did a few organizations within my major just to kind of get credit for them. But that was really about it. With being Greek, it's like 4 clubs within itself. So
I can relate. Yes.
Okay.
How did you find yourself at Whitewater?
Well, what happened is after I graduated from high school, I didn't go straight to college. Because I hated school. I told my friends, I'm not going to school unless it's court ordered. Like, for real, I could not stay in school. But I met who was now my husband. We were just friends. And so I was working in retail, and I was doing really good. And he said, "You know what? You're really kind of smart. You should come to Whitewater. You should really go to school." I was like, okay. And then I had an older brother who was at Howard who wanted me to go to HBCU. I went to visit the campus, and what I liked about Whitewater was that it's diversity in your face. One thing that I could appreciate about it is it gives you that real world experience, because the real world isn't predominantly one race. It's all these other different ethnicities that you have to come in contact with and deal with. So it was close to home, and it kind of instantly gave me that real world experience just going there.
I know everyone has their different opinions about HBCUs and PWIs. What would you say are like the pros and cons of both?
Well, the pros of HBCUs is that it's an instant community because you see people who look like you. There's a large amount of support. Like you don't even have to talk about it. You're at HBCU, you're embraced, you're loved, there's a support. The con with it, which is the pro, with campuses like, Whitewater and stuff, is that the support there it's stronger because you have a lot more to face. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if you see someone that looks like you, it's just not like a regular hey, how's it going, and keep going. You'll see someone at Whitewater like, "You good? Hey, how's it going?" You know what I mean? Yeah. Because they know the things that you encounter. So it really gets you get that experience. So that's what I would say the pros and the cons of it. Another con is sometimes being, at a PWI that, okay, the cons is kind of brutal. You know what I mean? Like, did that just happen to me? Did somebody just call me that word? And I ain't do nothing but like walk into the class. Like, it's really like in your face. So you get thicker skin and everything. But then you get to learn about other people. I think one of the good things is that, how can I say this? When you're trying to get people to understand you, if you understand them first, then you can kind of segue and get them to understand you. So if I'm learning about somebody else and I'm receiving them and being kind and trying to get an understanding with them, then okay, I can teach you how it makes me feel as an African American. You get what I'm saying? So okay.
Like during your college days, what would you say was one profound moment? Just one moment that happened with African Americans that just stuck with you to this day.
You ready for this? Oh, okay. I was at Whitewater in the University Center. We call it the UC. I don't know if it's still called UC. Okay. UC. During the OJ verdict.
Oh.
That was crazy. We were in there. Everybody was watching Days of Our Lives in the middle of the UC. And the verdict came down. Half the people were like, yes! And then the other half was like, are you kidding me? And all... Yeah. It was crazy. That's one of those moments where you think somebody is your friend and they're cool and you know, you just don't see them like that, and then when their true feelings just unleash. Like, really? This is how you feel about people of color? So that was super duper profound.
In your opinion, how do we build community?
Like I mentioned earlier, is that you're approachable. You kind of just have this attitude where you are trying to understand somebody. I'm not here to harm you. I want to get to know you. And I call it almost Jedi mind tricking somebody, because I want to get to know you, but you don't know my real intentions so that you get a better understanding of me. I think that's how you start to build community, is just learning about everybody and really get to know what makes all of us great. I remember this quote by Maya Angelou, and I'm just kind of, put it my way. So what I remember is that people won't remember what you said to them, or they won't remember what you did to them, but they'll remember how you made them feel. So if you think about a person in your life where if a person made you feel crappy, you don't remember what they said verbatim, and you might, when you try to recap what they did to you, you don't remember every little detail, but you remember how they made you feel. So I think if we kind of think like that when we're trying to talk to people and build things, that I think, we will get like greater results from it.
Personally, yes. Which do you prefer, Black or African American?
I do not have a preference, but if I had to pick one, I was to say Black.
Black?
Yeah. It's a shorter word.
What would you say was your proudest achievements while at UW-Whitewater?
There were a lot of things I can't remember. I can say personally, and you know what, and that can kind of even show the community. My last year, my brother, he was 20 and he was killed in a car accident.
Oh wow.
That was like a really rough year for me. I remember telling my my professors, like, you know what, is a D pass, what I gotta do to get a D in this class? I just need to, just hurry up and finish this. But just the community, and when I say community, the people that I didn't even know were like super supportive, embracing, and helped me really kind of get through that semester. It was crazy. Like people that I just was like, I didn't even know you knew my name. You over here giving me you'll feed me off your hawk points or whatever they call it now. Just little stuff like that. But I think that was really a wonderful kind of thing, just to have everybody come together like that. As a student, being in the organization, being, Greek, we did a lot of things as far as just bringing other organizations that weren't in the Panhandle just together, doing things. I remember we collected coats and stuff, and I mean, not just that, just everybody. We did a lot of things in the community with people that we normally wouldn't do as far as charitable things. We had like a all Greek, no matter what sorority you were in, like charity basketball game, and did a lot of donations with that. But there are a lot of things, but I can't remember. But I do remember like leaving the university feeling like, okay, I left my mark there, and I can go on and see what the end is going to be.
Who is your most influential African American and why?
Like, period?
Yeah, like, period. It can be anyone.
I really, you know what? And this is just not for purposes because she's I would say my daughter. And because she has a huge class load and she does everything and she doesn't complain. And she just has like this heart for people. Like, she's just like amazing. Like, she has so many things going on and so many things coming at her. And her attitude is just dope. Do y'all still say dope?
Yeah, okay.
Her attitude is dope. Like, she made the dean's list. And she had like a crazy semester, and for her to still excel. And she has every reason. I don't say every reason. She got reasons to really just be a jerk. But she is not one. She's so dope. Her.
What are the wise words of the day? So, like, quote of the day. What's something we can leave here with?
I'm gonna say this. At my church, I'm the praise and worship chair. So I really have to think about things as far as what can I do to motivate the people that I serve, to kind of make them remember what, you know. So one of the things that we talked about was, you know, we're supposed to be like Jesus, right? Mm-hmm. So if you keep trying to be like Jesus, you ain't gonna be like him. If you keep trying, you're gonna become a doper version of yourself. If you remember, like, say if you're in the car behind somebody that cannot drive and you really want to say some wonderful words to them, and then you just really just think about, okay, you know what? I'm trying to be like Jesus. I can't be like him, but if each time I remember to be like him, I'm gonna become a better version of myself. So, if you had to sum that up, Ryan, what kind of quote would you say there? What would you say?
Put me on the spot. Okay. What would Jesus do?
Oh, right. So yeah, that's just what I would say, because we're not perfect, but if we try to be like somebody who is perfect, we'll become better versions of ourselves each time.
I like that.
You like that?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hi, my name is Shelley Jackson, and this has been Test of a Man.